Hi there, Tony DeBonis here from Starline Windows, and welcome to Starline Windows Window Talk. Today I'm going to be sitting down with a very special guest and discussing topics around the window and door and construction industry. If you do enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to us on all our social media platforms. And if you're in the need for windows and doors, please contact us at head office at 604-882-5100. We'd be more than happy to help you. It is May 28th today, 2025.
Yes, sir.
Sitting here with Lance MOLZAHN of Starline Windows. Lance, tell me about your role at Starline and how long you've been at Starline.
Well, my role here, let's start with how long I've been here. I think I started 2015 or 2018. I took over from my dad, which was he was here for about 17 years at that time.
Yep.
And it was a good fit where I would just kind of come in, learn the process, and then take over his clients and slowly let him enjoy retirement.
Exactly.
So it was a good way to move things along and maybe pass the torch, if you say.
Yeah, you sure did. Your
Right?
dad was in the industry for 50 years.
He was around for a long time, and he did really well.
Yeah.
It worked out good for him. So,
Yeah, the last 20 years he spent with Starline, because I remember, I always say we inherited your dad with the building. When we went and rented the building on Powell Road, your dad was the last man standing at the old window company there, and we ended up hiring him on the spot.
Yeah.
So he stuck around another 20 years.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your role here?
So my role here is residential window sales.
Yeah.
And I take care of single-family residential builds up to 4-plexes, 6-plexes, anything in that range, and work with builders and new contractors.
That's right. So when a homeowner or builder comes in and sees you or contacts you, where do you start? What's the first step? Like, what are the steps you have to take before we give them a proposal?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I do ask some questions right up front to the builder. One of the big things is how far along are you in the project?
Yeah.
Are we in the ground? Are we preliminary? What are we looking at for timelines? Maybe next step would be, do you have a window color combination available or chosen for these windows? And then you get into your energy reports. You need to have the energy compliance report to make sure you have the correct glazing for the windows for that project.
And that's a lot different from when you started. When you started, even, you've been here about 7-8 years, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, you never had to do that back then.
No.
That's only been the last, 2 years? 3 years?
Say about 4 years.
4 years now?
They've kind of pushed that in.
Yeah.
And it's a different part of the whole building process. We need those energy compliance reports. They give us information as a window supplier to make sure we're complying with the overall build of that residential build.
So the energy report's basically giving you a U value that you have to meet on the entire home, or window specific?
Typically, it's an average U value for all the windows involved in that build. So I just have to make sure we're hitting those targets and making sure we're in compliance and that the home will pass for energy efficiency.
And you can achieve that different ways by either the low E coating that you choose, the whole glazing system that you're using, or even the sizes of the windows. Like by reducing them, you can meet better numbers.
Typically, it's just the glazing aspect. And your window types. So a slider versus a casement. A casement window will be more energy efficient versus a slider. And adding different low E coatings to the glass will help the efficiency of the window.
And for those that don't know, why is a casement window more efficient?
Good question. The casement window, when you're opening it and closing it, it'll lock tighter to the vinyl frame with a double gasket, and it'll seal up with a multi-point locking mechanism versus a sliding window, which you're relying just on the mall hair or the weather stripping to keep the weather out. So you get a tighter seal on a casement product.
So you got the double or triple gaskets plus a multi-point locking system.
Yes. Yep.
And can the seal units be wider on a casement window? Thicker than a regular slider?
Yeah, we can accommodate a wider or thicker sealed unit and pushing that into a triple glazed item.
What about triple glazing? Are you seeing more and more of it come into new home building now?
We do see triple glazed with these in new energy reports. We do have requests for triple glazed.
Yeah.
Sometimes with the report, we don't need to specifically apply a triple glaze. We can achieve that U value with a high efficiency double glaze system, which would work out better for the client.
More cost effective.
And more cost effective, less weight on the vinyl frame in a casement window, and more ease of operation of any openers.
And the weight on the window, you're basically, explain that to viewers basically, is it because when it's open it's a lot heavier?
Yeah, so if you compare maybe a triple glazed sealed unit to a double, there might be a 20% weight variance there, depending on your size. So when you're opening a casement window and reducing any weight on that operating system and the hinges, will really benefit the window system itself. Anytime you add weight or triple glaze to that hinge or the mechanisms, it'll eventually fail after time.
So basically the extra weight added, it's hanging out there in the sun all day per se.
Yes.
Could just make it start sagging, right? You may have to help close it.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Would it be even more prevalent in darker colored frames like black?
Yeah, black is a tricky color. It is a trendy color right now. We've seen it in the industry for quite a few years now. In the Okanagan where we are, the hot Okanagan sun does things to a black product, even if it's vinyl to aluminum to maybe a painted fiberglass front entry door that would be black as well. Things start to move in high temperatures with a darker color.
It's just because black obviously absorbs the heat more.
Yep.
Just like a black truck versus a white truck or a
That's a good point. Yeah, black truck will definitely get hotter in the summer versus a white truck.
Yeah. Something to be careful of. So what would you recommend color-wise if somebody wanted to keep away from black but maybe get something a little not white? What would you recommend?
We have a couple choices in our lineup. We do have a lighter charcoal color that we can apply that will help reduce that heat transfer in the sun. We also have a silver, which does a really good job that way as well. And then we have the timeless white. It's never going to go out of style. It's here forever.
Yeah, it's been centuries.
Yeah.
Right. What about doors? Like, what do we offer for sliding doors?
Good question. We have a couple doors in our lineup. We have our 8500 series builder patio slider, and then we have our 3800 series compression slider. Both great products for Starline, benefits for both of them, and obviously there'll be a little bit of a price variance between them, the builder 8500 series builder series versus the high-end 3800 series compression slider.
And are they typically installed the exact same way or are they different?
Yeah, so there's two different methods of installing those doors. The Builder Series 8500 series will be installed with a nail flange system.
Yeah.
It does make it a little bit easier to make that installation happen versus the 3800 series compression slider. That is a strap anchor system, a little bit more finicky, a little bit more hands-on, and possibly more recommendations for professional installer to take care of that product.
And at Starline, do we have recommended installers, like authorized installers that we would recommend to builders?
We sure do.
Yeah,
yeah, we do have a couple great installers that can handle those installations for the builder.
Which is kind of advantageous for the builder too, because now the onus is on the installer. The installer is going to make sure that door is installed level, plumb, and square, and he's also going to site glaze the glass if necessary, which I believe the 3800 would be all site glaze as well.
It is,
right?
Yes. Yeah. That's a good point. If you have the installer install the door, the callbacks come back to the installer. He'll come back, he'll look at anything that he needs to adjust and make it right, which he owns that installation.
So basically it's hands-free for the builder or homeowner.
Exactly.
Put it on the installer, let him do it right.
Yep.
They take care of the glazing, and will they obviously set up the door before they leave?
Yeah, so it is up to the installer to make sure all the adjustments are done correctly and making sure that door is functioning 100% before they're finished with their installation.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Are you seeing more and more builders and homeowners go that route, like especially on the doors at this time?
Yeah, so there is a little bit more push towards getting somebody more comfortable or professional towards that installation. And we are getting more questions. Hey, do you have somebody you can recommend? Do you have somebody that can come out and install this door? And we are promoting that at Starline to have that done in a professional way.
Good points, Lance. So what about seeing your customers? How often do you see customers? What is important to you when you go to site or when you're contacting them?
So I try and get out to site, get on the road, physically go see the work in progress. I try to make a weekly routine. Sometimes it's not weekly, possibly monthly, depending on how busy my schedule is. But yeah, I will just show up, hopefully catch the builder on site, have a quick discussion. He's happy that I showed up. He enjoys the fact that I'm interested in the whole build process. And that really helps just having my face out there and the relationship build between us.
Build rapport.
Yeah.
And if the builder per se isn't there, you're talking to the framers, you're talking to the other sub trades.
Yeah. So I'll just
which goes a long way too, right?
Speak with the framers, make sure they got the correct RO list and everything's correct on their end. If they need anything updated, I can definitely help them out there and make sure everybody's okay with everything.
So that's old school selling still. You're like out in the field, right? Boots on the ground. Boots on the ground. Nothing like boots on the ground.
Not just behind the computer or behind the phone. You got to have that face to face and build those relationships up.
Exactly, and that's basically a pillar of Starline. It's our level of service.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've come to do that as well. So Lance, tell me about how deliveries work. When you get an order, it comes in. Do you set up the delivery? Does the shipping department do it? Who's the liaison to the customer?
So the deliveries are a very important part of the Starline process, and depending on how everything is set up, if the builder is comfortable, they will contact our shipping department directly and just schedule that directly through them. Sometimes I do get the phone call or email and request of a date. I will forward that request in the shipping, and then shipping will just take over from there and have that scheduled with the builder.
That's great. And do we basically, so you're saying if a builder gets behind on his job site, will we hold the windows and doors here for him until he's ready? Because we don't want windows and doors on site too early because they can get damaged, they get broken, they can get vandalized or stolen. Are we okay holding on with them?
Yes, we are. So that's a good point because things get behind during the building process. We try and schedule everything close as possible to when the builder will need it. But we do have the capacity here at Starline Kelowna to hold product until the builder is ready.
We don't just show up with a truck and open the tailgate and drop them if the trusses aren't even on that.
No, we don't do that. We make sure the builder is ready.
That's good.
For sure.
What about service? How do our builders perceive our service department?
With our service department, we do a really good job of communicating with the builder, making sure they're taken care of at the point of something that has come up. I will include them on any emails to our service department so they understand they're in the whole service loop of everything. If there's anything that runs behind with service, I always tell them follow up with me. Then I can follow up with our service department, make sure they're taken care of in the end. And that will definitely speed up the process and get everything taken care of for them.
And typically we have a quick reaction time to service?
I feel we do. I don't let anything sit on my end. I will submit a request into our service department within a day or two of receiving it from the client. That gets followed up quite quickly from our service manager department.
Yeah.
To the client to schedule a service appointment.
Wonderful.
So it gets taken care of fairly rapidly, and the clients are happy with that.
And that's another pillar to our success is our great service department.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And in a nutshell, your time here at Starline, how's that been for you? And what have you learned about Starline? And moving forward, what do you see?
That's an excellent question. Just so you understand, I came into Starline not knowing anything about windows or glazing, so this was a whole new experience for myself.
Yeah.
And I took it in stride. I started in service myself.
Best way to learn.
Learned the product, learned how to service it, hands-on. Then I learned as much as I could about the window material, from the vinyl framing to the glass itself and how all the low E coatings work and everything. So that's just the process I went through, and I feel that it grew on me, and learning or meeting new people was a very important part of that process.
Well, you're definitely a people person, that's for sure, Lance. And your training has been hands-on, which has been wonderful. So yeah,
thank you.
No, wonderful. And you're also constantly learning something new every day.
There's always something to learn about windows every day. It's changing, which is good. It keeps you on your toes, keeps you interested, and it keeps you aware of what the new next best thing is out there.
Sure is. Yeah, wonderful.